No. Go and come. I told
Yep.
student if not attending Saturday for business analytics, or Saturday
Sir, kindly, I request all the participants to kindly mute themselves.
Just tell me how you put.
Dear participants, our sincere request.
तो ऐसे तो मैंने अपनी रखी है।
मैंने इसलिए तो पूछा, मैं कॉलेज में अगर बीसीए होती ना इनकी बीसीएम से तो कॉलेज में करवा
फोटो कॉपी मांगे हैं।
हाँ ये भी है, लेकिन बीसीए के लिए एमसीए भी मांगे, एमसीए भी मांगे है ना।
बनाने को तो मैंने दुनिया की
डिग्री बनवा
चार्जर लग गए काय कट हाँ गौड़ सर चार्जर बिल काढलं होतं का कोणी आता रे
Dear participants, kindly mute yourself. My humble request, kindly mute yourself.
देखा बता मैम ये वाले बीपी वाले ऐसे ही ढालते हैं मैडम, और बीसीए वाले अपने ये को भी
A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I, Professor Najmunisa from Department of Commerce, HKBK Degree College, takes great pleasure to extend a warm welcome to each one of you for day 4 of our 5 days national level virtual faculty development program focusing on harmony in education. Let's take a brief look at the insight of day 1, day 2, and day 3. Day 1, Dr. P. Fatima Nainsi discussed the crucial topic of time management. She shed light on the significance of effective time management for educators and introduced us to the quiz app, which is a learning platform that offers multiple tools to make a classroom fun, interactive, and engaging. Moving on to day 2, the session was centered around ICT tools for educators, led by Dr. G. Brinda. Participants had the opportunity to learn about the 3 essential ICT tools for educators, namely Slides AI, Slido, and Padlet, gaining practical knowledge in these applications. On day 3, the focus was around session titled Stress Mastery for Educators, which was led by Dr. Usharani. Participants were instructed in stress management techniques that has been demonstrated to be highly effective in reducing stress level and aimed at improving positivity. Now, as we progress to day 4, which was the session is titled as Life Beyond Lesson, Unlocking Work Balance Harmony. The main objective is to explore the practical strategies and insight to achieve a harmonious balance between the professional and personal lives. We are fortunate to have with us today Dr. M. Vidya, Assistant Professor in Department of Management Science, Sri Krishna Art and Science College, Coimbatore. Her invaluable experience and insight are sure to enhance our understanding for today's topic and make this session a truly enriching experience. We welcome you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the introduction.
A brief introduction about Dr. M. Vidya. Dr. M. Vidya, Assistant Professor in Department of Management Science, Sri Krishna Arts and Science College, Coimbatore, with over 10 years of experience in teaching field and has guided UG and PG level student projects. She holds degree in MBA, MPhil and PhD. She has also cleared UGC NET in the year 2010 and SLET in the year 2004. Her academic achievement includes the publication of more than 18 research papers in national and international level. She is also a NSS program officer and conducted various camps as per the university norms. Dr. M. Vidya has played a key role in numerous events such as seminar, FDP, and workshops. With her wealth of experience and accomplishment, we now invite Dr. M. Vidya to take over the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the introduction. So, shall I start sharing the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
अपने आप खुद करो काम.
Just a minute. Could you see my screen, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, very much.
Okay. So, happy afternoon, everyone. So, today we are going to discuss what we face practically as in our regular life. So, we run between our work and we run between our home. So, everyone, a male or a female, we are feeling very much tough to match our day-to-day life, wherein we are led halfway when we are at work, we think of our home. When we are at home, we think of our work. So this is what happening, and many we feel that sleepless nights are there, frustration, stress, everything we face it regularly, and that is why this session has been given by the organizers, I hope. So, what is work-life balance? So we all know that we need to have there are a lot of definitions. So we say one should have a matching between the equilibrium of professional responsibilities, personal life, everything. So whatever it is, just I want to know whether we are like really able to manage our work-life balance. Anyone? So how far we are able to manage? Yes, anyone? Do we really feel that we are like able to manage our work life? So let us have an interactive session because it is post lunch. So everyone will be having a sound lunch also. So tomorrow is being Republic Day. So we'll all be at one level of mindset after the lunch, right? So can we have some interaction? So anyone is able to manage. So how far anyone could tell that they are 100% okay with your work-life balance? Anyone?
Not
Yes.
at all, ma'am.
Not at all. Yes, of course, even it is married, unmarried, or like whatever it is, right? So if you are like married, we have our family commitments. If you're unmarried, you have other commitments. You have to be with your friends. You want to spend life like you want to spend maximum time with your friends. You want to have all social interactions. So nowadays we have all mobiles and other things. But even though we are using all the items or all the things, but still we feel dissatisfied or we are not satisfied with what we have. So it might be due to numerous reasons, right? So it might be a personal reason or an whatever reasons it is. It is still yet a balance between the work and life is always a question mark. We do number of studies, numerous studies are there, research studies are there. They state that we want to have, finally we will say that our study, suppose if you are giving a project to a student, the student will finally say that the study has proved that the work-life balance has been satisfied. So that will be the outcome whenever we give a project to a student or whenever a researcher or whomever is making this project or presentation, whatever when they want to learn. So final thing will be like they want to say that we are satisfied because as far as report is concerned, we have to be very much clear that we should give a satisfied output. But in practical, it is not so. So we do not know which is dominating us more, right? So either the work or life. So that's why we are like a cat on the wall to go on this side or go on that side. Many times what we do, we take all official responsibilities and we come home, we do all those things. We are not able to manage our family members. We are not able to have a happy life. So this is what the struggle that everyone is feeling day by day. So when we see that whether it is decreasing, so in as far as my opinion is concerned, if a person is able to manage between work and life, he is said as a highly satisfied or he is like a person who is much delighted. But if he is like in between, right? So it's like a cat on the wall. So to jump for work or to the life. So this is a confusion which lies either they are an academician or whatever role they play. This is it a question mark and this is always a challenge for anyone. So here, this is a small slide which I want to show you, right? So it was related to a person. He worked hard every day. So every day he is working for something, right? So we normally run for something and ultimately we don't know for what we run for a day. So he worked hard every day and at the night when he is lying to his bed, so he becomes at most exhausted. So from morning till the evening or till the 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, he's getting exhausted, right? So he feels that he has done something and he is feeling that his task for that day has been completed. And finally, once after his death, right? So after a particular period of years or a certain number of years, one day he died, right? So what was stayed was, right? So he had just worked hard, but at that stage he felt that he has forgotten to live. That means what? We are running for something, but we are not making our life fruitful. So we do not know for what we are running, for what we are having all this much of commitments and why we want to run. So at last, after a particular, even as what after a particular period of time, what do we actually feel, right? So of this 5 years or 10 years of my work, I was running back of some money, or I was running off of my career, or I was running for some of a big goal. But ultimately, at the end, we might have missed that 5 years wherein we have spent a good life with our family member or a friend. So this is how our life is going on, right? So here, this was a 30-second speech, so which admired me, and I felt that it will be sharing with you will be worth good, right? So it is a 30-second speech by Brian Tyson of Coca-Cola, former CEO of Coca-Cola. So he says that life is a game, right? So just I'll expand it. The slideshow, I'll make it bigger. Right? So he says that life is a game, right? So you are having 5 balls. Imagine that you are having 5 balls with you, and you give each different name, or you give name for all these 5 balls, right? So one ball is work, one ball is family, one ball is friend, health, and spirit, right? So now what you do is you are putting all this in the air, right? So you're throwing off all in an air. So what you will do is work is a rubber ball. Rubber ball means what? Why? What does it mean? When we stamp a rubber ball down to the earth, when we put the rubber ball down to the earth, it will bounce back to us.
Bounce back.
It will bounce back. So that means everything, the work you do, it does not stop, right? So early morning from 9:30 to 5 or whatever it is your timings, it doesn't stop. The work is moving on continuously, right? So it is bouncing back. Whereas the remaining 4 balls, right? So the remaining 4 balls, imagine that this 4 balls, if you, it is like a glass, it's like a glass piece. So if you lose your family, nothing will come back to you. If you lose your health, it will not come. If you lose your friends, it will not come. If you lose your spirit in the sense your positive aspects, right? So if this four, Sir Rajendran sir, please mute yourself. Right? So if you lose all these 4 balls, it will not come back, right? So that is what. So what we make is forcefully we put all these 4 balls down. In the Nalme, what we try to do is we just put it all down. We are not worried of all these things to a certain year or a certain time period, right? So this means all the balls are not same. One thing will come back, whereas the other thing, if you drop it, you cannot make it again. So that is the message from this CEO of Coca-Cola, right? So what is his statement is, you work efficiently, right? So you work efficiently during your allotted time, right? So that is called a smart work. We all know what is the difference between a hard work and a smart work, right? So now people admire only the smart workers and not the hard workers. So do your work on time and leave your office. And if you want to spend your time with your family, friend, make it. You have to rest yourself. Your mind has to involve in some kind of a rest or some kind of a peace, right? So that is what the statement said by this CEO, right? So this is what our life is. So we have to feel for something that is we must be very much committed on. So by the way, it doesn't mean that you should sacrifice your work, but things to be done on time, right? So time management can be effectively done to avoid all those things. So now I want to say a small story of a small boy and a father, right? So because I don't want to go for all theoretical aspects, it will be boring for you. So I'll just go with some videos and some short stories, which will be good for you to hear, right? So this is a small story. A boy, right? So a boy and his father was there at his home. So he identified that his father, there was a big, huge banyan tree in front of his house, right? So this boy, what he did was he observed that his father is moving on daily, right? So he is going there, and when he's going to his work, he stands there and he speaks to the banyan tree. Like he stands in front of the banyan tree and goes to his work. Then, during his return of his work, he again comes to this banyan tree, stops there, and then he comes to his home. So this boy watched his father moving like this and returning back, and he just asked a question, right? So he asked a question. So why are you standing near this banyan tree when you move off to office and when you return to home, right? So return from office. So this man said that See, when I'm moving to my office, right? So I stand beneath that banyan tree and I just garland all my family issues or the family things which I have left, which I have got in my home to that banyan tree. I garland that to the tree and then I return. I go to the office. Then, while returning from the office, what I do is I again garland whatever I got, right? So I put it as a as a thing to the banyan tree, whatever I have learned from my office. And once when I cross that banyan tree, I become a free man. I forget my office and I concentrate on my home. So he he thought to a small boy like, so whenever you are with your work or we are like with your family, it should stop out of your home. So when you leave your you leave your house, your idea about the house or your problems about your house will be should be settled there, right? So this was the small story wherein the father and the son story. So he conveyed this to his son that why this is important, right? So this is as a teacher. So if you are, I hope everyone are academicians here. So here as a teacher, right? So what is how could we match, right? So this was data collected from around 8,096 teachers, right? So this was the activities, right? So how the stress is there for every teacher, right? So here one thing is, so 93% are between in we are struggling in between teaching and home responsibilities. So what are the things that you face inside your classroom, right? So one thing, 95% of the people, so they feel that it is very difficult to concentrate on individual, right? So suppose imagine that there are somewhere around 60 students in your class, right? So if you are like 60 students in a class, so you will not be able to allot your special time. You will not be allotting your valuable time to each and every one of them, right? So that is not possible.
हाँ
Then,
जी
then what
कल
happens
सी मैम
is,
कल सी मैम
so then what happens is, so interruptions, right? So we all know that whatever that is happening, right? So here, whenever you are in a class, so it is not like everyone listens your class, right? So it's like all what we do when we are in online, we are not having our 100% concentration over the thing, whatever we do, right? So here what happens is, so 76 percentage of the people feel that they are getting interruption by the students, right? So the students are always interrupting their work and they are not able to do. Then other headache now recent days is the absenteeism of students, right? So we couldn't control it because of several reasons and everything, but absenteeism also is a great headache for the teacher, right? So then other one is so health related issues. So we have to monitor all these four components, right? So all these four components has to be monitored within the classroom. Then coming to the workload or assessment, right? So we need to have a class component. That means you're writing your materials and you have to identify what is the problems related to whatever assignments or whatever they have submitted. Then you do not have a proper time, right? So how to evaluate the sheets of your student or something like that. So you do not have proper time to make. So that's why what happens nowadays is the papers are not that much strictly evaluated because everything is out of stress. Then outside the work, right? So now I'm within this particular thing, within the classroom assessment, everything is over. Now I'm going to my home. So what happens is I do not have sufficient time to spend with my children, right? So I do not spend time for recreation. I do not go for a movie or I do not go for playing with my kids, whatever it is. Then 87 percentage, they do not spend their time with their partners, right? So that is a husband or a wife, whatever it is. So other one is, so you are not giving, 78% feel that they are not giving proper care for their friends and family. So that means, so imagine that it is a survey conducted among different set of people, right? So the survey is conducted among different sets of people, and this survey states several meaning, right? So it gives several meaning as how life is for a teacher, right? So a teacher's voice. So this was a survey conducted around 8,000 teachers, and the response was held by them, right? So now I want to share you a small video clipping, right? So how we are actually. Ma'am, whether you are able to hear this or see this? Yes.
No, ma'am.
Kavya, ma'am?
No, ma'am. I'm not able to hear it, ma'am.
Just a minute.
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Audible.
Okay.
SOU, KSOU. Date of years. Right.
Ma'am, we are not able to see the video. We can only partially hear the music.
Ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am.
Am I audible? I got, I think.
Yes, ma'am. You're audible, ma'am.
Just a minute.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, it was a small video, right? So it was related to work-life balance. So it was an employee who tried to be happy in his home, and gradually, when he was going to his office, his official commitments were increasing. So the ultimate thing when we feel depressed is we want to get a leave or we want to get relaxed. But his senior official said that, see, you have number of job applicants, and there are a lot of people around this particular job, whom you can, they'll be ready. If you are going now, you can get lot, other people will get a chance. So with his personal feelings and everything, he know the go. He has to continue his continue his work, whatever it is, and then he returns back to his home tired after everyone sleeps, and he is not having a proper connect with his family. So this is what now every parent, everyone, right? So they are facing this kind of issue. We are not able to do, because now like colleges, we are going back of lot of data. We are going back of lot of what to say, ranking facilities and all these things we are going on. So when all these things happen, so what happens is the ultimate problem is like we are not able to manage our work and life. So this is what actually we as an academician or as a anyone, right? So we face in the economy as of now. So coming back, so this is what we are, right? So this is what we are. I just increase. Right? So this is what we are as of now, right? So we have a lot of problems at workplace, gender bias, insufficient or say insufficient maternity leave, right? So people are not given maternity leave. You have physical harassment, no pay, leadership. So this is the problem which we face, right? So at our workplace. And at our family, we are not able to meet our commitments. We are not able to balance our time. The role of the mother is much more, right? So we are not able to go for tours, or we are not able to go for like training programs outside. And ultimately the health of any person destroys, right? So because of stress, we all know psychological impact which we get out of stress, right? So women, we all say ourselves as like a multitasking personality, right? So we are not with one job. We have a lot of commitment. We have a lot of or say activities. We do not. Our mind is not fixed to only to one task. Wherein even if I am sitting here, my mind will be thinking of some other task or some other jobs outside now, right? So that means we are our brain is tuned to. We have to have an idea of a lot of things going around us, and we have a lot of thoughts and other things which is completely revolving around us, right? So this is a survey which has been conducted by ASOCHAM, right? So at International Women's Day, right? So it was held in all the famous cities like Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, and all these areas. So here they analyzed, right? So they identified 2,800 corporate women, that is women working in companies, and the employees, right? So from 120 companies, so 120 company out of the 2,800 members, they have took it, and they had, right? So they had a survey, and this survey said that so everyone, right? So everyone in all the sectors, right? So they are facing some kind of a health problem. So 75% of the women in all the industrial sector, they get it's physical issue, health issues because of this multitasking, right? So again, some people like they felt, right? So 78% of the people, they felt that they are like there are some other diseases like so obesity. So now we just obesity doesn't arises out of our heredity and all those things, right? So all this is due to the stress or depression or whatever it is, right? So this was the survey that said that 78% of the sample of people, that is 2,800 corporate women. So out of that, 78% had a lot of depression during multitasking, right? And other thing is, so most probably since we are sitting and doing our work, so we get a lot of again problems like backache, right? So obesity and hypertension, everything. And many people, what they do is because of all the unemployment issues, they feel that if they are taking a gap, if they are giving a gap for their work, they might be losing their employment. So here, majority of women, right? So they do not want to get into a doctor because they feel that if they are going for a doctor, they have to give some rest to their body, which might be advised. And because of this, they are not able to do this work. So this is the greatest problem which as a lady we face, right? So the multitasking means we do different tasks at the particular point of time. So this is always a kind of issue that is there. Yeah, right. So this is what a diagram which portrays what are the responsibilities of a lady, right? So here you have your baby in your hand. Here you are having a suitcase, or you can have it as a laptop. Here you are carrying vegetables. Here you are cooking. You are cleaning your house. You are using a laptop. You might be a professional who uses a stethoscope. You are having an iron box, and you have a calculator. So this diagram depicts the multiple roles, right? So multiple roles and responsibilities which are faced by the women recently. So when I come to ask you, right? So do anyone face such kind of like what multitasking? Do you have any kind of issues like because of this you get multitasking? You get such kind of not able to share this. Yes. Do you feel any kind of issues you have like multitasking everything in your personal life? Anyone? See, just kindly interact, or it will be like a monotonous one.
Dear participants, kindly reply
Yes,
about
ma'am,
your
we
opinion on this.
all the time face multitasking as a big problem.
Yes, ma'am. Right. So multitasking is we run because we need to run, right? So it is our fate, right? So there is no other option. We are forced to run among something, and we are forced to run around something, right? So we run for basically money, right? So that is what the ultimate aim, right? So when you take a statistics, the people running for like money will be more when compared to people running for their lifetime what to say, like for their taking over their family, or to making them satisfied, or when we go to work we do not make it as like a we just to entertain our time, or just to and it will be only for a few things, right? So how you want to improve your quality of life, right? So one thing is don't stress yourself, right? So you do not take things much to your mind. Exercising, right? So we have to make this because it makes your complete body. See, we say God, right? So God, God, right? So here when we divide ourselves, when we consider our body as a God, right? So till your head, right? So till your head it is generated, right? So till your stomach it is operated, then down it is disseminated, right? So that means what? Generator, it tries to provide cognitive thinking, everything. Operator means it tries to it relates to heart, right? So it does all the process. And disseminating means you can take it in any way, right? So this is what, that's why we say people like God means God is within you. Why we say God is within you? Because we are like getting things, right? So generating, your body is operating all what you eat or what you have in your heart, whatever it is processed. And dissemination happens thing. So that's what they always say scientifically or psychologically. When you say God, it is called as generator, operator, and disseminator. The other thing is eat better, right? So eat better and eat healthier. So meditate. So this we will not be practically possible, because when we meditate, we'll get lot of impact, lot of pressures outside us, right? So we will not be getting a sufficient time to meditate over us. Then work less on weekends, right? So when it is a holiday, leave your work there, say bye to your jobs, enjoy your weekends. Then work less overtime. Do not go for overtime. So some people are there, some people of category like they want to get more money, they do overtime. So don't have that. So whenever you want to have a relax, just take a break, right? So it might be a lunch break or whatever. So now we have to have all these breaks in time, right? So this is the way in which, so I want to give you and I want to share you a small video, because I want to make this session very much, at least not interactive. When people are not interactive, at least I want them not to be getting bored.
Dear participants, kindly be interactive. You can use the chat box as well. Thank you.
Yeah, I just give a video, ma'am. Just a minute.
Okay, ma'am.
రామచంద్రి இது என்ன பெனிஃபிட் நினைக்கிறேன்
Ma'am, whether this video is visible for you?
Oh, ma'am.
Ma'am, whether video is visible for you?
No, ma'am, not visible, ma'am.
Just a minute.
Yes, ma'am, it is now.
Yes, hope you have watched this video, right? So there was a different nature of person. So when we are working, you will be encountering different people, right? So one person, as if we also in the job, right? So sometimes, many times in our job, we feel that why we are not properly considered by other people, right? So either it might be a superior or it might be your head of the head of the department or whomever it is. So you might be like happy to do a work, you might be like fully involved and committed to do your work, but you'll not be able to get a good name after your work, right? So this is the stress we have mostly in our work, because it might be either because our superiors or people above you, right? So here there are different nature of persons. So when you have seen this video, you could have identified there are different set of people, right? So the people who really wanted to work and the people who really wanted to improve, right? The second person, so he might be a newcomer, right? So the second person who was there, the behind the first person, he might be a person, right? So it's an assumption, right? So he might be a person who might be new to the organization, And when he sees an employee before him, if he is running or if he is moving, right? So he wants to learn something from him and he joins the other person to go off the show. There is a third kind of person who doesn't not want to do the work, right? So, but he wants to monitor the work. It might be your superior or a boss, right? So he monitors. And again, a person joins, and at the end, a person is there. That means your opponent, right? That is your opponent. So what he does is he tries to stop, right? So he tries to pull you off from all the opportunities which you have. So this is what actually we are witnessing. So this need not be a person, right? So the thing or the person who was at the last, it is need not be necessarily a person. It might be anything, right? So it might be like your problems with your colleagues, or it might be the quality of materials which you might get might not help your production. So the problem might be anything, but there is a problem to pull you, right? So there is a problem to pull you, or there is a problem to stop you from going front, right? So this is what actually we face. So there is some hindrance, and at last what happens is the person who wants to improve, he identifies what is the hurdles at the back, why this vehicle is not able to go fast, right? So he sees that the competitors or the other person is moving fast in his life, why our vehicle or our task has not been done properly. So after he notes that, he analyzes the reason, and then what he does is he tries to go back and he tries to identify a person who stops him from doing his work, who makes him the hindrances, right? So it is not exactly the person, you can take it as hindrances or the problem, right? So what hinders them to do the work, and then he moves that person. Like it might be anything. The hindrance might be your stress in your job. The hindrance might be your like what your some kind of a depression which you have, or whatever it is. So now he identifies what is the hindrance or what is the problem that does not makes him to move friend, and then what happens, he just throws it from that place, right? So throws it from that place, and he tries to move the vehicle. That here the vehicle means it is the target or it is the goal or whatever it is we want to achieve, right? So finally the teamwork will lead, right? So this is what as we all know that we are a social animal, we are not restricted to like a particular thing. So we have to interact with people. So when you want to drive your vehicle properly, right? So when you want to move your work life properly, you have to have a person who is helping you, and also you should be in a place wherein you are able to identify what are your struggles or what are your problems that is hindering or fostering your proper life, right? So and then you have to avoid all those things, right? So that is very much important. So when you're not able to manage your work life, what happens? So this is what we get, right? So depression. So depression, when you are depressed, you do not want anyone to speak to you. You want to be lonely, everything, right? So fatigue or burnout. So you are ultimately, you're exhausted to the maximum. So there is nothing else in your body to make it off. Conflict, what happens, right? So this is the ultimate thing. So you fight for no cause, right? So you fight for no cause, you fight for no reason. You have always jealousness, or you have whatever, an anxiety, you do not know what to do, right? So whether we'll be able to manage or whether we'll not be able to manage, right? So then poor relationship with people, stress, like you will not be able to manage your stakeholders. So stakeholders in your office means your colleagues and other people. In your family means your kids, your husband or a wife or your spouse, whatever it is, right? So that is all stakeholder. Self-confidence. So when you are not able to manage, right? So this is happening. So many of the, as a survey states, many of the women retire from their work, right? So when you ask a lady, or when you ask a, most probably ladies, like they quit the job easily. So when you ask them what could be the reason, right, why they have left their job, so the ultimate reason they give, one simple reason is they are not able to manage their home and life, right? So it might be anything, right? So they don't have any person to take care of their children, or ultimately their health is weak because of their work. They are not able to manage their family on time, and they are not able to have a proper time management to continue their job, right? So even though we see a lot of people have a lot of ambitions, careers, everything, so the ultimate question when you lay, right, so to any person who left the job or who have quitted the job, even though they might be a CEO of a company, or they might be like a person at the bottom level or middle level, whomever it is, when you ask them, right? So we talk, as I told you, there are a lot of researches in work-life balance which gives the ultimate result, right? So when we do our study, we want a favorable result, right? So if you're not giving a favorable result in your research, what happens? So people feels that you have to redo the research. So for that purpose, we try to satisfy, right? So we try to give a statement like we are satisfied with the work and life. So this is not actually the bad thing. So in real-time practice, we say work-life balance should be there, how it should be there. It should be made only by the person who is actually involved and who tries to make himself to be doing the task in an effective way, right? So either whatever task, either at home or either at thing, right? So how to make your proper balancing, right? So one thing is set your boundaries. So this is what which I have to do, right? So this is what I should not go off this. I should not do something extra. I should know what I have to do. Prioritizing. So this avoids maximum of your problems. So this is called planning also, right? So you decide like what you have to do first and what you have to do next. So when you feel, right? So don't sit at your place. Always don't sit at your place, right? So don't sit at your place and you just watch your system or do your work like that. Have a break, right? So having a break. So they say like 20-20-20 rule, right? So 20-20-20 rule in the sense every 20 seconds, right? So you have to watch 20 centimeter apart, right? So the distance of 20 meters, right? Not centimeter, 20 meters apart for 20 seconds, right? So this is what you should sit in your place and you should watch something outside for 20 seconds at something like 20-meter distance. So that is 20-20-20. So why they are asking you so? Because it reduces a lot of problems. So what normally we do, right? So now all these academicians or like software engineers who work from the 24/7, right? So here, whenever you want to have a break, this type of breakup like 20-20-20 will make you to relax your eye muscles. So that is the thing many doctors also suggest that it is 20-20-20, right? So when you gaze at something, don't gaze at your system, right? So completely, thereby your eye also affects. So here, whenever you want to have a break, right? So have that break properly. The other important, very important thing is learn to say no. So there are certain people who are not having much confidence in themselves. They are not ready to say no, right? So if I say no, what will be the opinion of my boss, right? So what will he think of me? So they might we have an inferiority in ourselves, saying that if I'm saying no to a person, they feel that I'm a foolish one or I don't know something or I'm not capable of that. So don't think like that. So whenever you want to say no to a certain thing, say no. There is nothing to stop you. You have the talent, you have the skill, but whenever you want to say no, you have to say no either to your family members or to your official people. Then technology, right? So this is what the greatest thing. So we all like whomever technology should be used in a wise manner. So what we do is we are now addicted to technology, even though we have lot of positive things, but still what we do is we are like it is like making us like addicted towards it, and we many times we enter into a lot of scams, we enter into a lot of security problems, everything happens. Personal time, so there should be some time which you allot to your family. It might be an hour or it might be a 2 hours or whatever it is. So you schedule your time. So this is the time which I have to spend for your family. After making your family commitment, you can schedule your time. So 2 to 3 or 5 to 6, I schedule for my family, and that should be spent only for that purpose. I'm not going to bother about the things other than that. So this is what you have to make yourself clear with it. Then now we do not say the term work-life balance, right? So we take the term as work-life harmony. So what does harmony means? So I use my energy, I invest my energy, and I should make my life richer. So I'm making a lot of efforts. Why I should make my energy go down? So I should make something. I should have a good energy, and that energy level should move me to the next level, and I should not be always turning up round, right? So you have to identify how you have to put your energy in a proper way. So energy in the sense, all your all your work, all your effort, all your interest, everything is called as energy. So you have to make yourself, you have to feel that your energy should not be let down at any cost, right? So here there is a small video of the former executive of Amazon.
Ma'am, the video is not visible.
You couldn't see the video, ma'am?
No, ma'am, I couldn't see that.
Just a minute.
Yeah, ma'am, sure. Yes, ma'am, we can. Audio is not clear, ma'am. It's not audible.
The audio is not clear.
Yes, ma'am. Video is playing well, but the audio, it's not audible, ma'am.
Yes, now, ma'am. Now you are hearing. Ma'am, are
No,
you
ma'am.
able to hear now? No.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
And I think it is some kind of error in the video. So I'll say you what is that particular
Yes, ma'am.
thing. Right.
Yeah,
So
very much.
when it was discussed, right? So when it was discussed to him. So he is Jeffy Bros, right? So when it was discussed with him related to how will he say about work-life balance, so he gave a particular thing, right? So he says that I do not like the term like work-life balance, but I wanted to replace it with work-life harmony, right? So I don't want this term to be defined as a work-life balance because that is not a proper term. So he says that so we not need children, we need not like lead like I want to spend time when I want to spend time for my family, I should not limit my hours, right? So I'm spending 2 hours per day, I'm spending 3 hours per day, there should not be any limit. So whatever you earn, right? So it doesn't give any meaning. So here, if you are getting that much energy, that energy should be properly utilized either at your home or at your work, right? So he tries to say that whenever you want to be with your family, even you can take them. There is no lose or there is no harm in wasting your money or $1 million for not spending the time with your family. So you take your family out, you enjoy with your family, and you should have a good work-life harmony. That means your patient should be with for your family as well as for your job, right? So this is what he tries to say in that particular video. So here, what could be, how could we have this term like so harmony? So one is whenever you start a thing, start small, right? So today I'm spending this time with my family at this particular time, or this is my time which I spend, right? So the next day it might be furthermore an extended time, then later on increasing, right? So always don't, there is no need to please anyone, right? So you are not born in this earth to please anyone. You are born to do something. There is no need that you have to make other people to attract other people, or make other people always rely on you, or they should feel that you are a person who is very much what to say, you are a person who should be always focused on. So there is nothing to please others. You do your work, they do their work. There is a relationship between only two things, right? So you and your task, take this two thing, right? So you and your task, these are the two things. Either you do your task, right, either at home or at your thing. So you and your task should be the prioritized one. Prioritizing between the task is very much important. So which task I have to take first? So either I should have my official one or my personal one. So when I'm at office, my task prioritizing is my work. My work, I dedicate my work from 9 to 5. So it doesn't mean that always all the employers are very much horrible people, or the employers are not like people who always trouble you. So they are also there to guide you, they are also there to motivate you, right? So that should be the thing. When you are at your work, that 9 to 5 you are paid for, that 9 to 5 you are allotting your time, so you have to focus on them. Whereas when you go to your home, that is exclusively for your family, so there is nothing to please anyone. So you have to do your task yourself, and task is different at your home, and yourself and your task is different at your office, right? So organize everything, right? So whatever it is, whatever work you have an organization. And planning, right? So we all learn of planning as a management or a commerce graduate. We learn a lot of planning, but what when we come at last, right? So whether our success rate of your planned event or unplanned event is great, when we try to get the result as our unplanned events are great, because we do not make things on a right way and on the right time. So we have to schedule, and just framing a schedule doesn't means anything. You have to put that plan into action, right? So that is the thing. Then health, right? So we all say health is wealth. So this is a common statement which we say always. Take care of your health. When you go to your parents' home, they say take care of your health. Whenever you meet your friends, they say take care of your health. So health is nowadays, it is because it has changed a lot, right? So it might be due to anything. It might be due to our food habits or whatever aspects, right? So we are getting some kind of physical health problems when we work continuously. We are not leaving a resting time for us, right? So that also affects you mentally. Then the ultimate thing what we do, all people do, right? So whenever we wake up at some point of time in night, we just take our mobile, we check what, we check our WhatsApp messages, we check our emails. Whenever we have time, we check our mail, we are our WhatsApp, we have our social media, we watch all this Insta, right? So avoid all those things when you are having a particular time, right? So I have seen our senior, right? So he is my senior. So what he does is, so after a particular point of time, he never replies to your message, right? So he stops, right? So he till after 7 o'clock, he never responds to any mail, or he never responds to any WhatsApp messages, even it is most urgent, right? So one day I questioned, what could be, how could you practice this? He became made it as a practice, right? So how could you practice this? Because whenever we are like that, we used to take a mobile when we lose sleep at our late nights. We take a mobile and we watch it and we keep. How it is possible, sir? So he said one thing. See, it is already a late night. Whatever problem of a student cannot be addressed, even though if you are monitoring your mobile, you cannot address a problem of a student at late night, whatever it might be. After this particular time, after 7, I'm not having any rights to come to the college or take care of my work. Nothing is possible. So why we want to spend that time? Why we want to waste our time of which we want to spend with our family, and we have to. So literally, I try to practice that also, and I'm also practicing it. So we have to make our time as suitable to us, right? Then social life. So we have friends. See, whenever now the human relations has become less. So we can see when we get into a bus, we could see everyone is with mobile. When we are going to any kind of place or movie or whatever thing, people take a lot of selfies. They are not interested in speaking to others. They take a lot of photos. They post in Insta, social, whatever it is. Like we are showing off our personal life to the other people, right? So that is what it is happening, and it has become a habit. So this should be avoided. We should interact with people. Human interaction should be more. And when you interact with people, you gain knowledge. Suppose if you're going for a conference, if you're going for any kind of an activity, you're going to an intercollegiate meet, whatever it is, when you interact with people, you get new contacts. So new contacts will enrich your knowledge. You can identify what are the skills they are having, and what could be made fruitfully, right? So this way you could try to have this term work-life harmony that can be replacing work-life balance, right? So this is what which I want to convey you for this session. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Dear participants, do you have any more questions?
So the key that we need to understand and remember, so if we have 10 students in your
Yes, do we want
Dear
to have any kind
participants,
of...
do you have any questions, any doubts to be asked, ma'am? You need any guidance, kindly reply. You can reply in chat box as well. No questions, is it?
Thank you, ma'am, for the great session. Actually, ma'am, I am a PhD scholar.
Yes,
At the
sir.
same time, I need some financial resources, so I do work online.
Okay, sir.
Both are stressful job, and in both it's very difficult to manage my life.
Yes, sir.
Around.
Sir, the thing is, again the same thing, right? So lot of our work-life balance, as I said, we are running around, right? So something, we are searching something, we are running around something, right? So literally it could be a financial thing, right? So financial aspect is what makes everyone to run. See, and also the increased commitment. See, now, for example, if you take me, I have a commitment of paying my loan. I have a commitment of paying some debt. So that makes me to run after my job. So we are invariably the same, right? So it might be some people run for their they want some appreciation, right? So they work hard. If something is given, like it is all means like the motivation which we get. So either we get a monetary benefit, we do something, or if we are like we want to be appreciated, we work for them. There are all people are not like they're going for money, but there are certain people. But our level of level of focus differs. So this is why we are not able to manage, because we all have some financial commitments. The ultimate thing is whatever we plan, we are dragged with it. So what you can do is, so you try to identify a time, right? So even though I understand your question, because you're a scholar, you have to make your full day work at your college, as well as you have to work with your work to manage your finance also. But it is just make a relaxation, right? So you find a gap. So you identify a gap where could you be free, right? So which is the time period which you could be free. At least try to have some relaxation measures, right? So that we are getting somewhat, either it might be anything, right? So you can have a chat with a friend, you can have a coffee with a friend at outside. You may move out, you might hear a good song, you can go for a 10 minute walk. So leave off the from that place. See, there is a psychological like a method, but which we think. So when I read this particular technique and this was given as a practical exercise, I felt that it was like a foolish one. But I analyzed later, it could be better. See, there is a like a technique called as worry chat technique, right? So worry chat technique is a technique which they use in psychology. What is the thing is, so when I'm worried about something, right? So here what happens is when I'm sitting and thinking of something, right? So you have to leave off from the place, right? So that is called as worry chat technique. When I'm encountered with a particular problem, similarly, when you are encountering some kind of a difficulty, you have to leave off from the place. When you are depressed, that you feel that you have to work, right? So because of your financial worries, have a 10 minutes break, have your relaxation, and then come back. So this they scientifically say it as a worry chat technique in psychology. So when we feel a problem, you have to be out of the place. When you feel a fight, you have to be out of the place. When you feel something discomfort, leave the place or leave the zone so that you are breaking off something, and then you can regain your energy and you can come back to your work.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Dear participants, any more questions?
Ma'am, I think they are asking for some feedback links.
Yeah, ma'am. We'll be posting it shortly.
Okay, now we'd like to conclude the session. Thank you all for your active participation. We have now reached the conclusion of today's session. I extend my sincere appreciation to our esteemed speaker, Dr. M. Vidya, for generous sharing her knowledge with us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
I could also like to express gratitude to all the attendees for their participation of today's session. Please note that the feedback link for today's session has been posted in the chat box, and I kindly request all the participants to fill it. The link will be active till today at 8 p.m. Looking ahead for our 5th day of our national level virtual FDP program on harmony in education, featuring the topic work etiquette professionalism by Dr. Anita Bai, which is on 27th January 2024 at 2:30 p.m. onward. Please note, this will be our last day of our virtual FDP. Thank you all and have a great day.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.